A very good morning, everyone. I hope that you are doing well and welcome to our CIN603 tutorial class. Uh, Thank you for those of you who have been joining us on a consistent basis, and also thank you for those of you who have been watching the decoding later onwards. Now, so far, we're doing quite well with most of our syllabus. In other words, okay, we are doing well and keeping up with our lecture notes. We're also keeping up with our tutorials and labs. Now, for the tutorials, okay, we are generally discussing most of it in our tutorial class, and also for our labs we will finish up with use case diagrams today, and from next week onwards we'll start looking at net present value, TOC, okay, total cost of ownership, TCO rather, total cost of ownership, and some other mathematical calculations in it. So that would be the very last lab for the last portion of the labs for the semester. All right, now in terms of lecture notes, we are left with close to about 2 or 3, I think most likely 3 sets of lecture notes. So somewhere around week 14, you'll finish up everything. Week 15 will be the very last week of the semester, and I will be just asking you to go and sum up things, and we'll be doing some usual set of revisions in week 15. Now, week 16, this is where you will go into your study break. Week 17 and 18, that is when your final exams will be hosted. So this is week 11. We've got 4 more weeks to go. So somewhere by the end of the month, we will be finishing up with week 14. Week 15 will be the very first week of November. Okay. The second week of November, you will be sitting for, you'll be going out for your study breaks, and the last 2 weeks of November will be scheduled for your final examinations. The timing's flying away pretty fast. Now, when we talk about time, let's also talk about your project. This is due somewhere on week 14. Now, the scheduled date was week 13, but I had pulled it over to week 14, and this is due on the 31st of October, 11:59 p.m. Do note that no additional time will be given for this, because you had been given so many ample times. I gave you close to about more than 2 to 3 months to actually go and attempt this. I think more than 2 months to actually go and attempt this. So more than enough time was given to you all. All right. Now for today's class, we'll go over our tutorial questions from week 11. And straight after that, we'll also go around discussing the lab portion from week 10. So 2 lab exercises. One was on the OPAC, online public access catalog. Basically, OPAC is a library management system. Okay, and then also we'll go around looking at our vending machine system. So 2 of those use cases. So without further delay, let's go and hop into our tutorial. So at the moment today, we only have Janesh Yu who has joined us. Thank you, Janesh, for taking out your time and consistency throughout the semester. I hope that you are able to hear me pretty well. Okay, the feedback that I'm getting from my Zoom is that you are able to hear me, and you are also able.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And also you are able to see the screen that is displayed in front of you. So without further delay, let's go and look at our tutorial questions. We had 7 tutorial questions, so we'll go around with them and I will dictate the answers to you. Okay, now, alrighty. Okay, so first comes first. Okay, question number 1. Describe data structure in relation to data design concepts. So let's go and answer that. Now, these are very simple answers. Okay, and I will be stating them down, and you can write it where you usually do, or you can always go and write them in the discussion forums, the tutorial discussion forums. Okay, so question number 1, describe data structure in relation to data design concepts. So the answer is each file or table contains data about people, comma, each file, question number 1, each file or table contains data about people, comma. Each file or table contains data about people, comma, places, comma, things, places, comma, things, places, comma, things, or events that interact with the information system. Or events that interact with the information system. Full stop. This is how the data structure work in databases. This is how the data structure works in databases. Full stop. Question number 2. Explain DBMS and state an advantage of DBMS. So DBMS would stand for Database Management System. So you are supposed to explain it and at least give an example, an advantage of DBMS. So our DBMS is a collection of tools. A DBMS is a collection of tools, comma, features, comma, and interfaces, features, comma, and interfaces, that enables user to add, features and interfaces that enables users to add, comma, update, users to add, comma, update, comma, manage, enables users to add, comma, update, comma, manage, comma, access, access, comma, access, and analyze the contents of a database, and analyze the contents of a database. Full stop. Advantages include give a colon. Advantages include, give a colon. Next line, DBMS offers timeliness. DBMS offers timeliness. Next advantage, it is interactive. It is interactive. And the last advantage is it allows flexible data access, ACCESS. It allows flexible data access. Full stop. Question number 3. State some advantages of database systems over file systems. State some advantages of database systems over file systems. So we're just going to list it down. So it says state, doesn't say explain. So first one is scalability. SCALABILITY, scalability. First one is scalability. Next is better support for client server systems. Better support for client server systems. Next is economy of scale. Economy of scale. You should know what economy of scale is. Economy of scale is when your production level increases, the overall cost for your individual item decreases. Economy of scale. Next advantage is flexible data sharing. Next advantage is flexible data sharing. And finally, stronger standards. Stronger standards. So those were your answers for the advantages of database systems over file systems. Question number 4. List and explain the characteristics of web-based database designs. So approximately there are close to about 6 characteristics of web-based database design. Okay, so let's go and have a look at them one after the other. First one is global access. Global access, and give a dash. The internet enables worldwide access. The internet enables worldwide access. Comma, thus people from all around the globe may have access to it. Comma, thus people from all around the globe may have access to it. Full stop. Next characteristic is ease of use. Next characteristic is ease of use. dash web browsers provide a familiar interface. Web browsers provide a familiar interface that is user-friendly, that is user-friendly, and easily learned, and easily learned, Learned, easily learned. Next characteristic is multiple platforms, dash, multiple platforms. Multiple platforms, dash. Web-based design is not dependent. Web-based design is not dependent. Web-based design is not dependent on a specific combination of hardware or software. On a specific combination of hardware or software. Web-based design is not dependent on a specific combination of hardware or software. Next characteristic is cost effectiveness. Cost effectiveness, EFFECTIVENESS, cost effectiveness, give a dash. Initial investment is very low. Initial investment is very low. Because the internet serves as the communication network. Initial investment is relatively low, is very low, because the internet serves as the communication network. Serves as the communication network, full stop. Users require only a web browser, full stop. Users require only a web browser, full stop. Web-based systems do not require. Web-based systems do not require Web-based systems do not require powerful workstations. Powerful workstations. Workstations is a single word. Full stop. The next characteristic is security issues. Security issues. Security is a universal issue. Security is a universal issue. When it comes to web-based systems. Security is a universal issue when it comes to web-based systems. However, there are softwares and techniques However, there are softwares and techniques to be protected from web-based attacks. To be protected from web-based attacks. Next characteristic is adaptability issues. Adapt, A-B-I-L-I-T-Y, adaptability issues. Dash, migrating a traditional database design. Migrating a traditional database design migrating a traditional database design to the web requires design modification comma additional software comma design modification comma additional software comma and some added expenses. And some added expenses. Question number 5. In data designs, Explain the purpose of referential integrity. In data designs, explain the purpose of referential integrity. Your answer, first one, it does validity checks. It does validity checks. It does validity checks. Which can help avoid data input errors. Which can help avoid data input errors. Avoid data input errors, full stop. Next purpose. It builds a solid relationship. It builds a solid relationship between tables in a database. Question number 6. Define an ERD. ERD means entity relationship diagrams. So question number 6, the answer is ERD is a graphical representation. ERD is a graphical representation of all system entities and the relationships among them. And the relationships among them. Full stop. Next question, last question, question number 7. Differentiate between logical and physical storage. Differentiate between logical and physical storage. Logical storage is information. Logical storage is information seen through a user's eye. Seen through a user's eye, comma, regardless of how or where, regardless of how or where that information actually is organized or stored. That information actually is organized or stored. Full stop. Physical storage is hardware related. Physical storage is hardware related and involves reading and writing blocks and involves reading and writing blocks, blocks, of binary data, of binary data to physical media. Full stop. So these are your tutorial questions which we have finished up. Now, next, what I would like us to do is go back to week 10 section of the Moodle shell, and we will be discussing use case exercise 1 and use case exercise 2. So this is what I will do first. For use case exercise 1, I will give you close to about 5 minutes to identify all possible actors and another 5 minutes to go and identify all possible use cases. So a total of 10 minutes. So it's 10:34 to 10:35 at the moment. By 10:45, you should have identified all possible actors for use case exercise 1 and all possible use cases. You have 10 minutes with you, and after this 10 minutes, I will be asking you to go and draw those use cases on the work document that I'll be sharing up. So get busy, everyone. You have 10 minutes with you. All right, let's go and discuss this. The use case exercise 1, and it reads as, now you have to be very careful when you're reading a use case scenario with, or sorry, a use case question which has a scenario given or like a case study given. You need to be very sure and accurate, not to assume a lot of things, but you have to directly start picking up things from the question itself. So it says an online public access catalog, or OPAG, is an e-library website which is part of Integrated Library System, ILS, also known as Library Management System, and managed by a library of group of libraries. Patrons of the library can search library catalog online to locate various resources, books, periodicals, audio and visual materials, or other items under the control of the library. Patrons, by the way, are the people who actually take books. For example, if you are using an OPEX system and you are borrowing books, so you become a patron. So patrons may reserve or renew item, provide feedback, and manage their account. You are to create a use case diagram for the above scenario. So first things first, we need to go and identify who all are the actors. So who all are the actors then?
Patrons.
Okay, first is patron. Okay, patrons. And do you have any other actors? Any other actors? Anyone? Or just one?
The database administrator.
Okay, you can have database administrator. However, nothing has been stated on the database administrator in the case study. Do you realize that? That's what I was saying. We cannot assume way too much. Okay, so at the moment, there's nothing related to a database administrator at the moment. Thank you for your attempt. It was Janesh, right? Thank you for your attempt. However, no, we cannot have database administrators at the moment because there's nothing listed in the case study. Any other actors? Thank you for your attempt, though. I really appreciate. Remember, like no answer is sort of like a wrong answer. We're all trying to learn at the moment. So, any other actors? Any other actors? Anyone? So, who is an actor? Actor can be a person. It can be a system. It can be a hardware. It can be a software. It can be an organization. So, any other actor?
The library or library staffs.
Okay, thank you, Musharat. Yes, the other actor is the library. In this case, we put down library. There's nothing stated on library staffs. It's just mentioned under the control of the library. So library becomes another actor. So any other actor apart from library and the patron? No, just two. So yes, we will only have just two of those actors. Next up is the identification of use cases. So what is your very first use case? Let's read this out. Patrons of the library can search library catalog. So therefore, search resources would be your first use case. What else? What else can the patron of the library do?
Reserve or renew items. Items.
Yes. Okay. So in this case, we'll have reserve item and renew item because those two are two different cases altogether, or two different things altogether. The first one, so the second one would be you reserve an item and then renew an item. Anything else?
Provide feedback
Provide.
and manage the account.
Okay. Thank you, Mushtarat. So provide feedback and manage their account. So in total, we have 5 use cases. Okay, now we have identified all of them from within the case study that was given, and we have apprehended things within it. So search resources, okay, after that, reserve item, renew item, provide feedback, and manage account. So 5 use cases. Now I have already put down the structure of how things will be. So you have a actor that I've, and then I have a use case. I've already put down the system and the name of the system, which should be in bold and underlined. Okay, so any volunteers to make the use case? Now over here we do not have a external use case. Okay, or a yeah, we do not have an include or extended, rather include or extended use case. So it's just a plain use case diagram. Now any volunteers would like to go and work on this? Anyone? Monish, would you like to try it out? Okay, let's make it like this. There's 3 of you, so I'll ask one of you to work with the actor. Once he or she is done, then somebody to work with the use case and somebody to do the linking. Would that be fine? So all of us. All right, so first of all, Monish, would you mind going and putting in the actors? So you should be able to have access to the screen now. You can take as much as time as possible. You could copy and paste library management from there. Yeah, just copy and paste. It will be way more easier for you. Go slow, Monish. Don't worry. Do not feel too scared or do not feel too intimidated by it. Go slow. Take your time. So while Monish is working on this, others we can actually have a look and identify if he's doing correctly or not. So far, he is listing down his actor. So there are 2 actors. You have patron and then you have library. So the actor patron would go in left side or right side. You can continue, Monish. All right, so Monish is doing it correctly. So patron is the primary actor because he or she initiates the use of the system. And the other actor that you have is library, which would become a reactionary or secondary actor because they react to it. You can copy and paste and then drag it to the other side. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Monish. So you have 2 actors, patron and library. Primary actor patron on the left hand side, secondary actor library on the right hand side. All right. Now, Next up, okay, next up, I will select Jainesh. Okay, Jainesh, would you mind going in and feeding in the 5 use cases? You have access to the screen now. What I would suggest you to do is get the ovals, get the 5 ovals laid out properly. Okay, copy and paste those, and then you can right click on the oval and then edit text. Remember, you have 5 of them, so you need to adjust to the space very, very correctly. You can even scroll down and adjust the size of that rectangle, which represents a system. All right, so far, Janesh is doing it quite well. So you've got 5 ovals representing 5 use cases. So next up, you'll need to feed in details of those use cases. So right click, add text. Right. So the first use case that we had talked about was search resources. Okay. Your second use case was reserve items. Next up is renew items. After that, it's manage account. And finally, provide feedback. All right. Thank you, Jainesh. So what I will do is just these, I'll put it somewhere in the middle so that it becomes easy to lay out the connections. Okay, so library comes in somewhere in the middle as well. And so does, see, do notice this, when I am placing in these values, okay, try to have it aligned properly, yeah? So for instance, even with this, you'll see the green mark coming in, that means all are centered. There you go. So thank you, Jainesh. Next up is Musharat. You have control to the screen now. Would you mind and putting in the connections? All right. So the first connection is patron, and they want to search resources. So connection from the patron, search resources. Now, you will not have any link to the library at the moment. Why? Because the resource search is done on the system itself. Okay, so nothing related to the library. All right, so the next connection would be is to reserve item. Now to reserve the item, the patron would go into the system and reserve it, and the library would react to it. Only then they will go in reserve. Okay, so whatever they see in the system, they'll reserve it accordingly. So Musharat, another connection, from the library to reserve items. All right, good. Next up is renew items. Now, renew items, the connection will be very much similar to how you headed to reserve items. So from the patron to renew items, okay? So the patron will try to renew the items on the system, and the library will do it accordingly. Now you must be thinking, but the renewal portion is just done on the system. Yes, it is done on the system, but with the renewing of the items, the library will go and have to renew it to the next date or update the system so that no fines incur. Next up, manage account. With manage account, the account will be managed online and the system will handle it. So therefore, a connection from patron to manage account. The library has nothing to do with managing the account. All right, and the final one, you have provide feedback. So the patrons would provide the feedback as to if the service is good, service is not good, should be open at a specific time and so forth, or issues in the library and so forth. Now, they will provide the feedback and the library would react to it, okay? Now, this is something that the machine would not be able to, the computers would not be able to do. It has to be done manually. Therefore, provide feedback has also, there's also a connection between the library to the use case. All right, so this is where it finishes up. So for your library management system, you have 2 actors, 5 use cases, and the connection as such. So please do feel free to get this drawn up somewhere so that you have later on, once you have time for a revision. Now I will release all these files during the revision week. So that's where I'll be releasing it, and it will be up on Moodle. But apart from that, please do learn this because you have to do something similar with the website project that you're doing. All right. So let me just go and remove the remote control. Yep. So thank you, Mushara, Janesh, and Monish for your time and effort in doing so. I'll save this up very, very quickly. So the next thing that we will do is we will go and attempt use case exercise 2, ticket vending machine. Okay, now I'll give you about 10 minutes to go and identify all the actors and the use cases. Now this is going to be slightly challenging. Try to think about it. I'll give you 10 minutes time. Think of all possible actors and also think of all possible use cases. You have 10 minutes on you. All right then. So let's go and read through the use case study, and then from there onwards, let's try to pick up our main points and create the use case diagram. So use case exercise 2. Ticket vending machine, that is vending machine that sells and produces ticket to commuters. Now, this is an example of what you might see. Where do you have this? In Suva, we have it. Let me identify a place where in West. Okay, in the airport, we have it. Okay, whereby you go and press the button and then you are issued with a ticket. Now, in this case, what might be happening is I don't think the case study mentions anywhere of the person paying the money later onwards. This is an automatic system which may be run through the use of a credit card or a debit card. Okay, or a system whereby somebody is given a card by the organization, you have to swipe, get your ticket and park. Now, this kind of a machine is a combination of both hardware and software. It is only a part of the whole system selling tickets to the customers. Purchasing ticket might involve a bank if the payment is to be made using a debit or a credit card. You are to create a use case diagram. So after reading this, would you be able to identify who all are going to be the actors in here? Actors, first one would be just a customer, okay? The person who actually goes and takes out the ticket. Second actor, let's hear from you. Yes.
Bank से
Sorry, who? Bank?
bank
Yeah, okay. Bank is another actor. Any other actor? It's just two. Okay. Now, as per the case study, you only have a customer and bank as the actors. So your customer becomes the initiating actor, the primary actor, and your bank becomes the reactionary or secondary actor. Now, use cases. What all will be the use cases here? So use cases, any possible use cases? Let me hear you out.
issue ticket.
Okay. Now, issues ticket, or you can have it issue ticket. Yeah, issue ticket would be good. Okay, any other?
Payment.
Make payment would be another one. Anything else? No, just two. So there's just two. However, one of those two cases has a included and a extended use case. Which one is it?
Make payment.
Make payment. Okay, so what will be your included use case then? Included use cases are situations whereby once you have this particular use case which is run, make payment, so it runs together with it. So when somebody swipes a credit card or debit card, so the included use case will go in, check balance. Thank you. And the extended use case would be? So the extended use case is based on a certain criteria. So therefore, check balance, and if balance is not enough, a extended use case is then thrown out. In this case, insufficient balance. All right. Now, I have the use case diagram I have in front of me. So I'll ask you to do it one by one. So first of all, I will request Musharat to go and put down the actors. So Musharat, you have control to the screen now. So there are two actors, customer and bank. So your customer forms the primary actor and your bank becomes the secondary actor. after this, Janesh, you will work with the use cases. And Monish, you will work with the connections. Just decrease the size of the text box, Michelle. Yeah, it should be fine. All right. Okay, thank you, Musharat. So next up, I will have Janesh to actually go and put in the use cases. So Janesh, you have control to the screen now. So there's only two use cases, pretty easy. The first one is issue ticket, and the second one is to make payments. Sorry, did I say Janesh or Monish to do the use cases? Okay, do it anyway, Janesh. Do it anyway. Right, good. Thank you. Thank you for placing the use cases right on the left-hand side, because you know that you have some extended use cases and included use cases coming in. So what you can do, Janesh, is you can make the size of those ovals a bit smaller. So once they're smaller, it will give you some ample space on the right-hand side, or alternatively, you can go and increase the size of the system rectangle. Thank you. Okay, so the first use case is issue ticket, and the next one is make payments. Okay, over here in your included use case, you'll have check balance, and your extended use case is insufficient funds. Insufficient, SUFFICIENT. Okay, I remove the efficient. CIENT, right? All right. Okay, so thank you, Janesh. Monish, you're ready to go for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you should be able to have access to your screens, to the screen now. Okay, so what you have to do is you'll have to go and plot in the connections. So right, insert and then shapes, pick up a line, right? Okay, so first one, issue ticket, it will be just customer to issue ticket. Bank doesn't have bank has no role to play in it. Okay, so the second connection that you have is customer will make payments and the payment is supposed to go to the bank. All right, so you have done a copy and pasting. So customer to payment and bank to make payments. Okay, yeah, you can always rearrange that just to make things look a bit more neat. And another connection from customer to make payment use case. Customer to make payment. All right, now also you need to go and make connections from make payments to check balance and insufficient balance to make payments. Now these needs to be arrowed. No, you won't be able to use that. It needs to be no, okay, use it. You can even do it without an arrow. Sorry, Monish, how about you remove this and keep it arrowed because you need to show the flow. Okay, can you remove that and go to insert, illustrations, group, shapes, and use a arrow-headed line, the third one from top, right? Okay, and pull it across from make payments to check balance. Okay, release it. Now you'll have to do the same thing from insufficient balance, and the arrow should be pointing towards make balance. So what you can do is you can go straight to the ribbon. Okay, yeah, shapes, and then the third. Okay, pull it from insufficient balance to make payment. Is that fine? Okay, now we'll also need to put in include and extend captions. Let me do it for you. Okay, let me do it for you so that it becomes easier for us all. Thank you, the three of you, for assisting me with this. So very simple. Okay, you'll need to have a include statement. So there you go. Include, and I'll pull it across to make it be more bigger. All right, now the arrow needs to be shown very, very clearly. You can have it even here as well. Shouldn't really matter much. If you feel that you're not able to get enough space, you can always go and change the size. At the moment is the font size is 11. Let's make it 8. I think with 8, it should be clearly visible. You can make your placeholders a bit smaller in size, and now this can easily go on top. There you go. Okay, clash this up a bit. Okay, better now. Next up, we can copy and paste this, take it and drag it to the bottom, rotate the shape of it, and let's go and edit this to extend. And with this, you can always go and change the size. There you go. Okay, so that finishes up your use case for use case exercise 2. Now it's not difficult, it's all about how you go around interpreting things. Now at the moment you had me to guide you through, okay, but I would like you to go back, read and go through all the use case questions and try attempting them on your own and see if you're able to attempt it. If you're making any errors, go back to the simple answers, have a look and correct yourselves and try it once and once more until you get it fully correct. Okay, everyone? So this finishes up our tutorial and lab class for the week. So thank you very much for those of you who have gladly joined us and you have been joining us throughout the semester. I really much appreciate your efforts. Keep up in finishing off your project. You only have 3 more weeks to go. Okay, so please ensure you finish it up by at least within a week or 2. Okay, and then do not wait for things for the very last moment. Till then, everyone, take care, stay safe. Should you have any questions or queries, you're most welcome to ask me those questions via email or drop me a message on Moodle. I will get back to you. All right. Thank you. See you all next week. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you.
So, to you.